Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's hard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. This is the pre-match of Everton versus Aston Villa. But unfortunately, Monday News will get us after we quickly go through the pre-match talking about the news that we've got today. If you are on Twitter, we can see your comments, so drop your comment on Twitter. It still comes on. We can put your comment on the screen, and we can actually give you feedback on your comment. So if you're on Twitter, put your comments on Twitter in the comments on Twitter. If you do want to come over to YouTube, hit that link. The link's there. It'll bring you over to YouTube, and it just gives you a better insight, and we can see your comments quicker and stuff like that. So if you can come over from Twitter. It's a big show tonight. It's a big show, and we might as well get stuck into it, Paul. So we'll start with the pre-match. Well, not pre-match, the match reaction pre-match. This news has got me head everywhere there. No, match reaction. We'll start with that.
Well, we'll break it down a bit at a time. So we'll sort out the Villa game, and then we'll attack the news from today, which has obviously got lots of people's backs up as well. So we'll go through that and have a chat. And I've got a few images as well from yesterday's game, and just really the sort of the main part, so people can have a little vent, or they can let us know what they think, how you felt about it, what you feel about the result, the performance, and we kind of go from there, really. So we shall see.
We can see you in the house.
We will get it up. What did you?
We can promise you.
Hello, everyone.
Save what you think on the news we've got till after we've given the match reaction. We will hit it. Don't worry. Stay with us. It won't be long. But we can buy that comment. What the fuck, lads? I think I know what that's about. And the Blues as well in the house. Feels like a juice. Yes, we get it, and we will talk about it. Yes, but we are just going to go through this game first, because believe it or not, it is about football. It is about football, and we've just had a football match, and we need to talk about it. So go for it, Paul. What was you saying?
Is it? Is it? Yeah. Football match broke out at the weekend in the middle of all this bollocks, honest to God. So yeah, here we go. How did you feel about the result?
Well, it was mixed emotions, because we have a few, the Toffee Bluecast has a few people that come on the show. Obviously, Jamie, everything Everton. You've got Rob. We've got a group of Everton fans, and we get different opinions in the group. And some was a lot angrier than what I was. I wasn't as angry as some. I mean, I'm gutted that Calvert-Lewin missed, but then I do think that we performed well. We battled well. It was good to take out of the game for me, Paul. That's one thing I'm going to say. There was a lot of good to take out of the game.
Yeah, I actually thought we defended really well. We just didn't create an awful lot, and what we did create, we didn't particularly take the chances, which that was the most disappointing thing. But let's say we'll have a little look. The main part, first half, was their disallowed goal. Now, I saw your comment. I saw his comments on our chat when this was happening. I was exactly the same. So basically what happens is, for those that can't remember or otherwise, Villa get a corner. They do short there from the far side. And it took VAR 3.5 minutes, I think, to 4 minutes to decide that it should have been disallowed. And in the end, I think I was like you, Dan. It was right that it was disallowed, but it was disallowed maybe for the wrong reason, to be honest, as well. So what's happened? Villa's got the ball on that far side from their corner. They've played it short. And then McGinn, I think, has then played it straight into the guy at the far end who we've got circled from there. It's then come back out. And as you can see on the other side as well, Dan Juma, who was on the post, has gotten its angle with Longlet. And he's not letting Dan Juma go. So when Dan Juma was trying to come out to play, to push the team forward out of the 6-yard box, Longlet's still got hold of him. And I was fuming at this point because obviously that the next part that comes in, guy on the edge of the box, Moreno gets the shot in, and by which time Longlet has let go of Dan Juma. So it seems as though everyone's onside, which was really frustrating because they weren't looking at the foul on Dan Juma. I couldn't believe it. I thought they're going to get this goal because they're looking at the wrong thing. And of course, it's Tierney on VAR and David Coop on being the referee, and neither are our best friend by any means. And I thought we were just going to get screwed over, but thankfully it was actually that part there. As soon as it gone straight back to the guy who'd started the corner in the first place, he was just offside, thankfully. But the worrying thing, refereeing wise, was that if he wasn't offside, say he was level, he weren't even looking at the foul on Dan Juma, so we would have been screwed over. So good that it was disallowed. Annoying that it was disallowed for the wrong reason. I don't know what you thought.
No, I was fuming. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe this because Dan Juma, Everton have clearly practiced on pushing out on set pieces, which every team do.
Yeah.
You can see Dan Juma is wanting to just push out with that line. That's all he wants to do is just push out. The players completely stopped Dan Juma from pushing out. He's grabbed him and pulled him down to keep him keeping the other player on side. It made me... I'm fuming because I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Straight away, as soon as they've showed it in 20 seconds, I think Dan Juma's got pulled down there. It's a foul. In 20 seconds, I knew it's a foul. Then they decided, it showed you on VAR, they're drawing a line on Dan Juma getting fouled. So hold on. There's a picture of Dan Juma getting pulled down, getting fouled. So you just said, have they not seen the foul? They're putting lines on Dan Juma. And by the way, when they're putting the lines on Dan Juma, he's on the floor because he's getting pulled down that much. He's on the floor. So he's on the floor getting pulled down. They're putting the lines on Dan Juma. Why he's on the floor? So when you're pulling these lines across from the Villa player to Dan Juma, you know you're putting a line on Dan Juma, getting pulled down, getting fouled. What are you even putting the lines up for? For me personally, when I'm putting a line on a player getting fouled, in my head I know he's got fouled, so I wouldn't even put the lines up. And we haven't got given that as a foul. It got given as offside because that's all the commentator said is it was offside. They didn't say it was a foul. So for me, if that player didn't literally, if it's just frustrating. Like it just really
it was, wasn't it? It was, yeah. I was watching it with my dad, and he said, "Calm down, son." I was getting proper irate, but thankfully, it wasn't given. God, it would have been absolute.
But it gives you no. This is the thing, though, Paul. That, yes, we got away with it because luckily of the lines, it worked out for us. But the fact is, we know for a fact that they wouldn't have given that free kick, so it would have been corruption against us again. The officials shown that literally they wouldn't have given the foul, and I just find that mad that they didn't give a foul on that. And the officials really do worry me at the minute because I'm not joking. If all Dan Juma is trying to do is push up to make them offside, and he's got pulled down and isn't allowed to make them offside, how can you not give that? It's not rugby. You can't literally pick someone up and put them near the goal to make sure the Aston Villa players are onside. You can't do that. They're a joke. And I don't want to talk about referees and I don't want to say about corruption because it makes us Everton fans always sound like moaners. But you can't. They're making things so stupid. Decisions are so stupid that you can't not talk about that, Paul, because that's just It really did wind me up. It did
Yeah,
wind me up.
well,
And the fact they didn't give a foul is ridiculous. Sean Dyche said in the press conference he couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
no. Well, we're running out of referees who we who we're not thinking that have got an agenda against us because Coote's got plenty of previous against us. To be honest, he doesn't he look. He just looks as though he's
Scared.
no idea
This
of what's
referee was
going
scared,
on.
I think.
Oh God, honestly, but
I
all
think he
of
was
those,
scared.
all the way through the game as well, all the way through the game. I haven't got it on here, but obviously the Tarkovsky thing in the second half where he puts in a really strong but fair challenge in the corner, and then gets booked for it, even though the referee and linesman didn't give a foul, and it was just the aftermath of Villa players going into Tarkovsky. And then Tarkovsky summoning the masses, the twin towers of Decore and Anana to come in and cause bloody havoc. The referee was just awful and just constantly as we're just doing it. Just seems to be all the time now, doesn't it? Just to be all the time. Anyway, let's crack on. That was the other line there. So that was the offside part.
That's what I'm saying to you, Paul. Look, how can you put a line on that? How's that not a free kick? Like, why have they even put the lines up? Like, look at it, Dan Juma. Oh my days, these officials, they're getting comical now. I'm really worried about them. I really am worried about these officials because if they can't get a simple decision like that right, when decisions are actually hard to call, they're in trouble. Because that straight away, Dan Juma fouled, not even going to draw the lines. We know it's a foul. We don't even need to look at the offside because it's a foul on Dan Juma. But instead, no, we'll draw lines to Dan Juma to the player to check it and say it's offside, like they're scared of actually giving the foul. I get that they might be scared of giving fouls sometimes, but this is a blatant foul. And if they're scared of giving that foul, these referees are going to struggle.
It was actually it was only for a moment, but the cameras actually went to Tierney in the box in Stockley, wherever it is, wherever they are. And I don't know who the assistant VAR was.
Paul Pickford's pointing at him. Look, Pickford is pointing at him, not being able to get pushed out. Even Pickford can see he's not allowed to push out.
But the assistant VAR, when Tierney was messing around with his controls and all that sort of stuff, the assistant VAR was looking at him like that with a face of, "Are you really going to do this?" I couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. But we're not surprised by any means.
I was with that.
Villa, you know what? Villa are a good side, and like Podcast says, they're really good on the ball. I just want to sort of pick out something that was trouble for us all afternoon, but we survived it in the end. Was this kind of play? So if you've got the ball in the centre, Villa had this kind of scenario all the way through the afternoon. We had our 4, then we had our 5 across. But this was the kind of movement that we were up against, which was really good, which you kind of hope that we could do a bit more often, but we don't maybe have as much possession high up the pitch as Villa did against us. So I'm not even sure who this guy is actually, but basically what he's going to do is the movement back inside to come short for a pass. He's just going to pull Branthwaite out of position a little bit. And you can see Watkins, who's there in the centre, he was doing this all day, just trying to run through the channels and run through the gaps in our defence. And then they were just playing the ball over the top. We were actually quite a high line for us yesterday, which wasn't too bad. We kind of got away with it a couple of times against someone who's quite quick off the mark. Obviously, it was Diaby, wasn't it, who came short. But we got away with it in the end. But as you sort of see, the ball's going to be played into that space there. And Watkins did that all afternoon. That actually created the chance, which he gets a half shot. It's blocked by Tarkovsky. It then bobbles past Pickford. And then he managed to keep the ball alive, Villa. But the number of people we've then got back when eventually it's got to the right-hand side or our left. And look at Pickford's position there. By the time he actually gets the shot off, Pickford's had to go full stretch. So he did some great saves yesterday, I thought, Pickford. And even though Villa had some decent chances, I thought as a unit we defended quite well. We were certainly in our positions And if they did get through, then Pickford was there to stop it.
No, I thought Pickford was fantastic because, like you say, it was the ball into the channels, and they managed to get the shot in. On what you said earlier on, us playing a high back line, I thought it was a good part of our tactics because Villa wanted to pass out from the back, from the goalkeeper, and we pressed onto that and we rushed them. Nearly turned the ball over quite a few times when Villa tried to pass it out from the back. So I think if we would have sat back and didn't play the high line like we did, we would have let Villa play out easy and completely dominate the game because they already dominated it with us pressing. So imagine what they would have done if we didn't push onto them. So I honestly do believe us playing the back line high on the halfway line was really good. We was just unlucky when we turned it over. We didn't keep the ball. That's all. We just need to keep it a bit better when we do turn it over.
Yeah, because it wasn't even so much the lads who were higher up the pitch. It was everyone as a unit sort of moved forward. So there weren't no spaces in the middle of midfield. And if Villa did get the ball, then we were on to them. So they had to then go back so we could kind of get back in position. So I thought we did get that quite well, to be fair. This is our best chance by any stretch of the imagination, really, yesterday. We break out from the back after Villa had been on the attack. Danjuma gets the ball in the centre. I'm glad he played. I know we all, like loads of people, got the lineup predicted correctly. Danjuma comes in for McNeil, who amazingly was on the bench and obviously came on for a bit. But I thought Danjuma did well with what he had. What he's going to do there, you can see Dominic in the middle. It's actually, the run's really good. The run's fantastic. It's exactly what you want from Decore to feed in DCL or Danjuma to feed in Beto. That's exactly what you kind of want, really, because Villa were playing a high line as well. And we got the best out of it, to be honest. The ball with the outside of his foot, he just curls it in for Dom to go through. And Dom's then well away. Those two defenders are not going to catch him. They weren't the fastest anyway, but I just felt so sorry for him because there was at this point, literally this touch that he has on the ball. And obviously he's right-footed. The idea just would have been to open up the space for him to hit a decent shot. But it was just that you could just tell his touch from this point to get to the edge of the box. That's where he wants it to go, just slightly to the right, so he can open his body up, and then he's got a choice of either corner, and then he can go for it. He actually knocks it straight in, so it limits his position a little bit. Now, Paul Cassie's right. He tried to give him the eyes a little bit, and Martinez, he's an arse. He's an absolute arse. However, he's a great goalkeeper. And he did do a cracking save. So when Dom's in that position, I think Martinez already knows which way he's going to go just because his body position obviously saves it then, which was a shame because that lad just needs a break, doesn't he? Dom just needs a bit of a confidence boost, if anything.
No, I've been one that's backed Calvert-Lewin up on a lot of Toffee Bluecast tweets and stuff like that because I know a lot was angry with him and it is a good save. We've seen him make that save in the World Cup to make Argentina win the World Cup with his leg out. He's gone one way and left his leg out, and that leg out is just pure hope that he's going to hit his leg. Goes in, or any other time it goes in, this does. Calvert-Lewin's done him. He's sent him the wrong way, but he's left his leg out for cover, and unfortunately, it's hit his leg. If Calvert-Lewin's scoring goals, he puts that in without even thinking about it. If Calvert-Lewin is scoring goals like he was when he got that call up for England, I honestly do believe, Paul, he'd hold on to that ball a bit longer, go round the keeper and have the confidence to say, I'm the man and I know how to score. But the thing is, he's not confident. So he's hit it early and he's half hit it because he's probably got it going through his head that he hasn't scored for ages and it's a big moment. But like I say, if he already had 4 or 5 goals in the bag in the last couple of games, he won't put the pressure on himself on this. He'd just literally go round the keeper, make the keeper look stupid because the keeper has committed there, round him, tap it in, and he'd be celebrating. Can't get onto Calvert-Lewin for it. You can't. I'm sorry because everyone's like, play Beto, and I want to see Beto as well. But at the end of the day, Beto gets injured. Calvert-Lewin straight there. We need him. We need him this season. We need him. And if he's struggling for confidence, it's our duty as fans to get behind him and lift him back up. That's what we are, supporters. And I think that's what we've got to do with Calvert-Lewin. I think he is struggling with confidence. Strikers do. When I played football, if I scored one, I scored another because I was on a high. Everything I hit would just go banging. I could ping one top corner because I'd scored. And that's what Calvert-Lewin's going to... We've seen it in the Brighton game last season, the turning point. The turning point game when Decore started getting braces and McNeil got braces. Only takes one goal and you could bang 4 or 5 in the next couple of games. So you just got to stay behind Calvert-Lewin. Don't get on his back. I've seen a lot on his back. And I know he should finish it. But I think knocking him down isn't going to help him to finish the next opportunity. So I think we've got to stay with him. I really do.
Yeah. And I know not everyone agrees. You know, Blues is saying that he's a really wasteful striker. PR wise, I'd like Everton to get some clips of him in training, because I bet it's not like this every time in bloody training. You know,
No.
Yeah, show people that he still can score goals and in training, and then give him a little bit more confidence. Just needs a bit of a break. You're not going to be.
Well,
You don't go from
this
2 years ago. You don't go from 2 years ago having your best season, being fit and being all over it, scoring the goals, to suddenly just then being a really bad player. All right, he's not a bad player at all. I hate that when people say that they're all useless just because they missed a couple and things and like that. But as a team, we're not doing great at the moment. So yeah, still build them up. Don't knock them down. If Beto's doing better in training, then get Beto starting the games. That's fair enough for me. But they are both capable of doing it. And maybe they would. You know, Blues is saying, why do you think they don't see great finishing training, mate? If he was doing it, they'd post it. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they do.
No, the Calvert-Lewin scores all the time in training. And he scored like nearly 15 that season when he was on fire. He can score those. Look at, we would have been saying the same again. You know, when Decore wasn't that good and he didn't have confidence. He couldn't score, could he? He always scuffled chances. But look at Decore this game when he has his chance. He puts it in the back of the net because he's confident. We all couldn't wait for Decore to come back, and we're all behind him. And he's on cloud 9, Decore is, and he's confident. Decore didn't used to be like this, by the way. When he wasn't confident, he couldn't score either. He probably scored 1 a season, and now he's banging 4, 5, 6. Probably he'll score 10 this season, Decore. Confidence
Probably
is
will.
massive.
Probably will. Massive. Moving on, just after that chance as well, Decore actually kept the play going. And James Garner, I thought we were going to see the lawnmower at one point then. But Martinez stops him down to his left-hand side. So
good save again.
Just frustrating. Good save again. You're right. Massive shout out for the lad who had to have his head bandaged because he got it cut open. Mikalenko. I put him down. Him and Tarks are put down as man of the match, to be fair, yesterday. This is the one where they get down the left-hand side. McGinn pulls it, or Moreno pulls it right across. Matty Cash is coming in at the far side. He's just going to bang it in. Mikalenko just throws his body. I love that. He just throws his body in the way of it. And it's massive.
It's a cracking block.
Yeah, it's massive. And I mean, to be fair, that was a hell of a bang on the head as well beforehand, but it didn't slow him down. And I think he got another one in the face later on. So fair play to Mikalenko. He gave us his all yesterday. And that being towards the end as well was massive. And then, I mean, we've got 3 men sort of on the line behind Pickford as well. Coleman was the one who stopped the ball. That ball went past Pickford. Could well have gone in the corner, that one. So another vital block, another reason why he's our best right back. And we managed to clear that away. I'm not going to dwell too much on anything else from it because I thought we defended well, wasted the couple of chances that we got. Well done, Decore, for actually breaking through and putting on a good finish. Maybe Dominic can watch that back. So we did have a couple of chances. It didn't work out. But a draw against the team who are 2nd, 3rd in the league is not to be sniffed at, particularly the area that we're in at the moment. If we beat Fulham, if we say, cup aside, whatever happens in the cup, regardless of that, if we beat Fulham in the next game at home, end of the month, then January isn't too bad a month for us, really.
No, you put a picture of Mikalenko up, and I've been tweeting stuff about him. I just think, Paul, that they did fight for us that game. They did. Tarkowski got the cut at the start of the game above his eye, had to have it glued.
Yeah.
Watkins hit him in the arm, hit him with his arm and his head. So that got Tarkowski up for the game. Mikalenko, like you say, when he got that knock on the head, I honestly thought he would have jibbed out a little bit, Paul. I thought because if you get a cut like that on your head, you might not want to go in as much, but it made him twice as strong. And he does die for that badge, Mikalenko does. He gives it everything, because I know the player that come on for Aston Villa was giving he was hitting him around the head and stuff like that. And Mikalenko gave him a right shoulder back. And Brantford Duran hit him around the head with a bandage, and Mikalenko went past him and went whack with his shoulder. And I loved it. That got me jumping up. And I did say after, these players are fighting for us, you know. Yeah. I love it. I know it wasn't the best result, and I know we could be more clinical up top, but I haven't seen Everton players fight for our badge for a long time. And every single one of those players was fighting for us. Tarkowski with the tackles after he got the slit on his eye. Then he called the dogs over, and Dukes and Onana was fighting for us then. Onana took a smack in the bollocks and still kept on playing. He got absolutely KO'd. I'm surprised he's still got out there. McNeil, come on. Danjuma played well. I thought he got stuck in. So, although the result didn't go our way, a team that's second, third in the league, that always scores as well. By the way, let's point that out, Paul.
Well, it was Forest in November when Forest beat them 2-0 at their place. Liverpool beat Villa in September. They're the only times that they've failed to score. So keeping a clean sheet against them is obviously a decent performance and result.
No, I think it was a good result. I can take it. I'm not overwhelmed by it, but I just think to myself, a draw against Aston Villa, they'll beat most teams this season in the league. You could see how good there was. And it just didn't, the things didn't click for us. And if they don't click for you, you still get a draw. It shows that we're doing pretty well, in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on the game. I wasn't as angry as some. I know a lot was kicking off, and I was thinking, just calm down. It's Aston Villa. They're playing well. You would have took a draw before the start of the game. So don't moan too much just because Calvert-Lewin missed a cracker to get the win. So that was my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Agreed. Right, should we do this?
Here we go, people. This is what you've all been waiting for. The numbers are going to go up because it's moaning and stress and crap and everyone's angry. This is it. Get on now. Get on the stream. Get the numbers up. We've talked about the frigging match reaction. Now we're going to talk about Monday Madness, Judgment Day. So, right. Let's just do this properly, Paul. Have I got any... I take it you've got the statement, the Monday Madness statement that's been released, and you're going to be able to read it out.
Have you had it on there didn't you?
Yeah, I can put it on the screen now. Monday Madness. Here we go.
I'll read it out.
Here we go. Monday Madness. I was going to do a bit of music on that, but I'm not even going to do it because I feel like we don't even want that. Our group chat is not happy, by the way. Jamie's fuming.
Oh,
Rob's not happy.
No, I like all of us. Like all of us, to be fair.
I'm not as bad as I thought. I'm not as bad as I thought I'd be. You know.
Are you not?
No, because I just think that
it's just that's us.
I expected it. That's what.
Yeah.
I honestly I expected it. I'm fuming with the way it's getting done, and I'm fuming with that it's wrong. But I'm not fuming in a way that I'm surprised and I'm shocked, because I Monday Madness, you don't see all those people saying that we're going to get news on Monday that us and Forest are going to get something if we're not. So I fully expected, and I think if you didn't, then you let yourself down. You should have been ready for this. Right, go on then, Paul.
Right, so I'll read the statement out. Many of you will have read it anyway. It's there for your pleasure, and then I'll try and pick out one or two parts of it, and obviously why we think it's an absolute load of whatever. Everton Football Club acknowledges the Premier League's decision to refer a breach sustainability rule. So that's what PSR has been thrown around today. If you don't know what PSR was, the assessment period ending 22 to 23 season with the Independent Premier League Commission. This relates to a period which covers the seasons ending in 20, 21, 22 and 23. It therefore includes financial periods ending in 20, 21, 22 for which the club has already received a 10-point sanction. The club is currently appealing that sanction. So that's important. The appeal is important. And also to know that the 3-year period where you can have a threshold of 105 million, which we were punished for, is a rolling 3 years. So this charge is for another particular year. So it actually still covers 75% of what we've already been punished for. So that's one thing to remember. The Premier League does not have guidelines to prevent a club being sanctioned for alleged breaches in financial periods which have already been subject to punishment, unlike other governing bodies, including the EFL. As a result, and because of the Premier League's new commitment to deal with such matters in season, the club is in a position where it had no option but to submit a PSR calculation which remains subject to change pending the outcome of the appeal. So the appeal is massive because if we, by some miracle, are successful in our appeal, that then negates this charge that was announced today. So if we actually win the appeal of the first one, this one won't matter, or shouldn't do anyway, depending on what the Premier League independent panel decide. Let's see, where are we? The club must now defend another Premier League complaint, which includes the very same financial period for which has already been sanctioned before that appeal has even been heard. The club takes the view that this results from clear deficiency in the Premier League rules, i.e. the Premier League rules are crap. Everton can assure its fans that it will continue to defend its position during the ongoing appeal, and should it be required to do so at any future commission, and that the impact on supporters will be reflected as part of that process. So basically, we've got everyone. Well, I say everyone. We've got many people on our side. I actually watched the fans advisory board meeting on Sunday with Andy Burnham and Steve Rotherham. They mentioned a list of people who have written letters to government and to the Premier League, a few dames, few sirs, including Mark Carney, who was previous Bank of England manager as well. So we've got some high-profile people on our side arguing our case. Our big problem at the moment is that the Premier League do not have the same guidelines as mentioned in that announcement as most other organizations, any of the other leagues in Europe, even the EFL and any league in our country. The Premier League don't have that. So at the start of the season, it wasn't, if you break this rule, this will happen. They've basically chosen our situation, which they have investigated, didn't agree with, and have punished us without guidelines. That's one of our arguments in our appeal, that shouldn't have actually taken place, because how do you come up with 10 points when you haven't got initial guidelines to follow? Forest, I mean, mentioning Nottingham Forest today, is that one of the things that came down in one of the reasons why they got charged is that they actually they waited on the Brennan Johnson transfer, which was they were going to sell him to Brentford, and they were going to sell him to Brentford in one particular financial year, but they held out. They didn't sell him, and they sold him to Spurs later on for an extra £15 million. Now, because they waited, in their details, they have then become culpable for breaching financial fair play, which they would argue was unfair, because why can't we just get an extra 15 million for this player over the space of however many months? Why did we have to sell him in January to meet that financial fair play, now that we've actually more than met it by waiting a couple of months or whatever to then sell him to Spurs for an extra 15 million. We've both, us and Forrest, have got plenty of reasons why we think it's unfair, mitigated circumstances. And if it was a truly independent panel that was actually dealing with this case and Forrest's case, then the chances are the appeals would be successful. But as we saw with the last one, the panels that are selected, they've got their own circumstances and their own connections and everything else, and their own interests as well. One of the previous panel being on the board at Leeds, so we're in a fight. It's a fight that could really go badly wrong for us. We don't actually know when the charges or the sentencing will be announced as such. It may stretch out a little bit, but what they're saying is that the charges can't be given until the appeal process has gone through. But the Premier League do say in their timetable that it will be done by the 24th of May, which is the week after the league finishes. Sorry about all that.
That's what a lot. No, it's bang on. You spoke really well, mate. I'm listening to it as well as I go because I still don't understand it all myself. We've only been hit with it today, and a lot of stuff that I'm reading is saying that the Premier League are making themselves look stupid. It looks so unorganised. The dates that like you say, that it finishes just as the league finishes. Whether you're going to find out whether you get your points or whether you've won or lost it just at the end of the season. I said this on a tweet. I said I don't get why they don't have a system where it's inputted before the season starts. You get your points and you crack on to see if you can fight the points and still stay up. I don't see how they can add them off because you're getting stuff and you don't even know what you've got to do. It's like if they give us more points later on, you don't know what you're fighting against. I'd rather them just give us the points like I thought they'd done. It was still too late for me, though, Paul. I think giving you 10 points not at the start of this season was unfair because we lost a lot of games where if we knew we had a 10-point deduction, we probably would have beat Wolves at the start of the season, probably would have played better against Sheffield United at the start of the season, probably would have stepped it up against Fulham and not missed all those chances. It could have been that push, having the deduction at the start of the season. I don't think they should be allowed to mess around with a team because when a team starts the season, that's it. You shouldn't be allowed to be touched. You should be able to get on with your season and see what happens. And then you should get it at the start of the season for me. What they're doing during the season is massively affecting us. And I think it's unfair. And it is affecting us as fans because our fans have just come to grips with a 10-point deduction. And now it's knocked our fans down again. And it's just unfair. It seems that our team's getting attacked during a season that is already hard because they've attacked us once and now they want to attack us twice. And another thing for me as well is like I think it was Gray that said it on the analysis thing with his mate, speaks cracking, loves Everton, obviously. Like he said, it's no coincidence for me, Paul, you said it when we first got the 10-point deductions have opened up a can of worms. It is no coincidence, it seems planned, that they are changing this for Manchester City and Chelsea so they're attacking us first. Everton are going to get it. And then literally when Manchester City are going to get it, the rules are going to change to suit them. Like that frigging referee decision with Dan Juma. It seems the officials and the Premier League are just ridiculous. But I don't see how you can do that. You can't keep changing the rules. And also, like you've just read out, which I was listening to you. Yeah, you've got to let the club know the rules. Like a club abides by the rules, yeah. So Everton have got these rules in front of us, and we try and push it to those rules, yeah. So we do everything to those rules. If you then go and change the rules, we can break loads of things because you've changed the rules. It's a new set of rules. Can't keep changing them and chuck them on us like that because then everything we've done to go with those guidelines, when they chuck new ones in, kind of goes out the window, doesn't it? So we're working a battle here that we just can't win. And
also as well, and Emma's mentioned it here is that
the comments
in August the rules are changing on FFP. Now Chelsea and City aren't going to have their cases looked at or completed before the summer. And in the summer, it actually changes. So then City and Chelsea allegedly won't be in breach of anything. And we wouldn't be in breach of anything either, based on the rule changes that are coming in August. So straight away, if they're trying to do it in season, or certainly this season, they're trying to do it in season, then whoever they are charging will end up meeting the penalty. However, come next season, when the rules have changed, they wouldn't have to investigate City or Chelsea because the rules would favour their situation. I mean, another thing as well. I mean, I listened to Five Live earlier on this evening. Julia Bold, who we like, she's fantastic. She was actually on there on the Monday Club on Five Live. And you know what? She really stood up for us as well. They had Mark Chapman was hosting, Shay Given was on there. They had a lawyer on there. They had another football finance person, and Chris Sutton, who were not the most complimentary to Everton in their situation, but Julia stood up for us and spoke really well and put across many points about why we're feeling feeling vindicated, or no, vilified, sorry, and why we feel as though it is a corrupt organisation and we're getting screwed over all the time. One of the things as well was that the 105 million threshold has been the same supposedly for the last 10 years. There's no inflation or anything taken into that either, which just seems bizarre as well. Surely there'd be some changes, within that 10-year period. It just seems all the things that Masters is now doing, the guy head of Premier League, just seems to be clear as day. Like Donald Trump, that like was a president doing loads of wrong things, and just same as our lot, Buddy Johnson and all that. They're just blatantly being unfair and don't give a toss about anything apart from particular people or clubs and money. And money is the be all and end all. And we are obviously not making enough money for them, but these other clubs are. And it just shows that we're getting screwed over, and there's bugger all we can do about it unless there's really high up people who have actually got some clout to do something about it. And we're battling, but we're not winning the battle.
Do you think this new man that we've got will make a difference? This new big lawyer that we've got. Do you think he'll catch him out a couple of times? It seems when the statement come out today, I think he's already involved, because it was quite clever, because they're literally saying, you've already gave us a fine on this and you're going back over that now. And I think he's going to catch them out a couple of times, the Premier League, because they ain't got a clue with what they're doing. And like you say, 75% of stuff was already in the first 10-point deduction, and they're still going back on that now. And I feel this new lawyer, I do believe that he's going to catch them out. And we needed someone big time, because Manchester City and Chelsea, they go big on lawyers because they know to do stuff wrong. And I think we didn't. I think we've lacked on everything. And I do hope that this man that we've got now, with how highly people speak of him, will have the Premier League's pants down and put them right. Because what they're doing is wrong. Everybody knows it. But then some people will just try and have a dig at Everton and go against us, like Eugene has just said now. And yes, I did see it. And yes, I was frustrated with him. Because Simon Jordan, I watch it sometimes. He's like, oh, I feel sorry for Everton. I feel sorry for the fans. He's up our arse, Simon Jordan, as he's saying it's not their fault. And he speaks about us, and he says this whole thing about us. He's got our backs and stuff like that. And he says it's not Everton's fault. And then he does a show later on, and he thinks, do you know what? I've already said that. I'm just going to be a complete knobhead and go against now and say the opposite. So this time I'm going to say that Everton went way over. They're lucky, so they should be happy they got the 10-point. He changes his opinion all the time. He needs to remember what he says, Simon Jordan. That's the thing, because you can't. I watch him, And I thought, you know what? I don't mind him on this. He's got Everton's back and he's said good stuff about Everton. And then I watch him later on. He's gone completely against us and we've done nothing different. And I think to myself, well, you've changed your mind all of a sudden, haven't you? And Simon, that's what they do just for likes and watches. But he shouldn't do that. And Simon Jordan to say that we're crying fans, he said we're really good fans last time. And then all of a sudden now we're crying fans just because we're petitioning and we're siding up for a club, like he said we should be. It doesn't make sense. Because then Simon Jordan also said, Paul, on the thing, he was like, Everton should have paid, they should have been over by 250 something, but they're saying it was only 9 because of COVID. But yes, COVID did happen, Simon. I'm sorry. But yes, it did happen. That is the reason. And it's the same with the stadium costs as well. When other teams did their stadiums, Paul, the stadium cost they got away with it. It didn't even have to go in. But all of a sudden, when Everton do stuff, it seems we're getting hit so hard on trying to better ourselves. Like FFP should be in place to help clubs get in a better financial position. Now, why they can't look at Everton and see that we're trying to get a stadium up, right? Look at what we've done, right? We find out as fans that our club's getting run bad. We go on strike and we change the board and we try and change the owner. So us as fans do the right thing. Then we try and get the stadium done so it'll get us in a better financial situation. What more can we do? Like, seriously, it's just punishing the fans. What more? Do they just, like, if the Premier League hate us that much, then might as well, instead of trying to do this crap tit for tat, give us points, this, that, and the other, and make us suffer trying to stay up, just put us in the Championship. Like, if they want us that bad. But what they're doing is just wrong. It seems like we're getting attacked, Paul. And like, I still believe, by the way, we'll fight this and stay up. But I want the Premier League to just do the case. There's like you said, Paul, we've got to wait all the way till the end of the season now to find out what they're doing. Just give us what you're going to do now. If you're going to give us, if you're going to give us 20 points, give us the 20 points, mate. 10 green bottles, 20 green bottles, or whatever it is sitting on the wall, we'll knock them all off. But if you're going to give us 20 points, give it us now. Let us try and stay up with a 20-point deduction. I honestly do believe, I think this is what might happen, personally. I think we'll try and get rid of this and get 6 points instead of the 10. So we'll get 4 points taken off. And I think if they're real idiots, we'll probably get 6 points for the other one. So we'll have a 12-point deduction. And I still believe we'll stay up this season with a 10. So 12 don't make a difference to me. But just let me know what you're giving us so we can just focus on the football and not be distracted and let our fans just get behind this team, because we'll stay up if we've got a 12-point deduction. We will. We'll overcome it. We've got a better team than the last 2 seasons, and we stayed up the last 2 seasons. We'll stay up this season with a 12-point deduction. I think we could push a 20. But just let us know what you're giving us. Oh, and I don't think any of this is right, by the way. I really don't think we should be getting any ball. I really don't.
No, it's not. It's not. If anyone follows me on X, I've just reposted the Monday Night Club, the football show, which Julie was on earlier on this evening. So I've just reposted that. So have a little listen. She's actually on. They're actually talking about it for about the first 20 minutes, half hour, something like that. And she stands her ground and fights our corner really well for us. So if you do get a chance to listen to that at some point, then do so.
We can announce that we have actually got Julia coming on this show, but I don't want to have her on. Yeah, I don't want to have Julia on talking about all this, because I want her on talking about the documentary that she did that was amazing. And I want her on just talking about all the good stuff that she does. I don't want it to be all a negative stream about shitty Everton pulling her down and dragging her down when she comes on. So I'd rather literally get her on and actually admire what she's done with that amazing documentary and stuff like that. So we will have her on in the next probably in the next month. But I don't think. What do you think? Would you have her on about this, all this negative stuff?
We would have to mention it, but it wouldn't be the only thing we'd talk about. We wouldn't be the only thing we'd talk about. Definitely. One thing that was mentioned on there, which I'm not entirely clued up on, but the general gist was that because of the stadium, there were interest payments as well that we had to declare, and that also pushed us through what the Premier League said we shouldn't have gone to. So there's lots of other situations in there, and it's not just, people should realize as well, it's the club as a whole It's not just like your first team; it's your club. So all of the teams, including the women's, the younger sides, the stadium, everything connected to the club. That's your FFP. It's not just one team as such. So that's important to remember as well.
Do you know, in our group we've got like Rob? I was going to get him on today. Actually, he's massively worried. He is like, this is the way a lot of fans will be. Is like, we're doomed. We're doomed. We're big trouble. And he does read a lot of stuff, and he knows a lot of stuff. A knowledgeable guy, Rob is, and he's worried massively. And the reason he's worried because he put it in the group about 777 partners giving like the 150 million, and they'll probably want enough. Well, they won't even pass. He's saying then we'll have to give them 150 million. The stadium's not even going to get done. This is the way probably a lot of Everton fans are fit. They're worried now, because I just want to ask you, Paul, because you're Mr. Positive, and we save stuff for the show.
Yeah.
Are you worried? Like, do you think the stadium might not get done? How are you feeling with this? Like, with the ownership of 777 partners, and like they've borrowed us 150 million. Are you worried with all this? What's happening?
Yeah. I am. The thing is the 777 thing. I don't trust them really. Us owing them 150 mil. It's like they've seen an opportunity. I hope I'm wrong, but sort of you can almost see the hindsight coming, months down the line, in the fact that we could potentially be in a worse state than we are now, and then we're still owing 150 mil to 777, and then there's interest on top of that. So that's a concern. The stadium being completed, I would like to say that there's not a concern. At the very least, I hope we come out with that stadium in the next 2 years. The team doesn't. I'm not worried about the team as such. It's everything else, and that's nothing. It's nothing that we've done, is it?
I'm happy with the team.
The whole kind of what really pissed me off was about that whole Super League thing. Was every sort of ex-pro person on TV can't do that. You can't relegate them or take points off them because it's not the fans' fault. Well, this isn't our fault. This is not our fault. And in fact, it's true that we've gone to the Premier League in the past about our owners, about the fact that they've been dragging us into this situation over the last 8 years or whatever it is. And the Premier League have stood back and not done anything. And also as well, this was a good point brought up on 5 Live, was that are there not financial people working for the Premier League? If you see that teams are getting to a position where this could be a problem, would you not let them know? Would you not? I bet you bloody let the top 6 know. Wouldn't you?
Why is it left why is it left so long? I don't get it. Like, you should, for me personally, you shouldn't be able to get this 2 charges this close together. Like you say,
no.
I think the fact they've given 2 charge, you should get a charge for probably every 2 seasons. Like 2 seasons, you should get looked at, evaluated, and then you get your finger. And then in 2 seasons, you get looked at and evaluated. The fact they've given 2 charges.
Yeah,
so close together in 2 charges in 1 season just says to me that all their books are messed up. They haven't got a clue what they're doing, and it just doesn't make sense to get 2 charges in 1 season. How can you do that? It just doesn't make. Like,
you can't. The thing is, you can't give a club a 10-point punishment for something that happened 2 years ago, right? And then give them what might be a similar punishment again for the year after. If they'd known about what happened 2 years ago and that's the punishment, then they're not going to bloody do it again, are they? And they can't go back a year. They can't go back in time to stop that punishment from happening. It's just the thing about the QC or the
We haven't
KC
spent nothing either, though.
has
Look,
been
Emma's saying go through this again next season.
well. I know.
We
And the
couldn't have
thing
done
is,
no more.
you've got our legal Eagles come in, who I hope can do a fantastic job, but he's up against it because there's so many loopholes and so much vagueness that the Premier League have got in their rules or non-existent guidelines that they can say, oh yeah, but this wasn't the case, so you shouldn't have done it.
They cover themselves.
It's literally going to be vagueness will get them through, and that. Unfortunately, that Masters is exactly like I said about politicians before. There's so much vagueness and just denying things that in the end, the people who are getting shafted haven't got a hope. Haven't got a hope because also as well the people who are getting punished are actually pleading with people their case, but those people they're pleading to are in bed with the people who are punishing us in the first place. So I am worried. I am worried because I just think there's so many connections with Premier League and clubs at the top and potential people that could help us that we are we're Mr. Bates in the post office. We are little people, skint little people. And at the moment we are, because we didn't have very good owners who spent their money wisely or recuperated money when they recoup money when they should have. And now we're actually playing in a league which is so corrupt and so filled with money greedy so-and-sos, add in your own word, that it's an absolute uphill battle all the time. And I know Eugene mentioned about European High Court and fight against Premier League. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens, not particularly, maybe with us, maybe not with us. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens with other clubs. I'm not sure whether something similar happened when Sheffield United and West Ham, when the two from Mascherano and Carlos Tevez for West Ham, they got them in. Dodgy signings, registration things and things like that. West Ham stayed up with Tevez scoring most of their goals. Sheffield United go down. Sheffield United, I think, may have gone sort of legal to try and get that looked at and overturned. Everyone hardly heard about it. Just we're not going to talk about it because you're relegated now and that's it. And I do worry in the fact that the timetable, and I only caught it briefly, so I do apologize if I get any of this wrong, but the general gist was the appeal date or the appeal decision, and then the things for the current charge and the appeal for the current charge and everything else seem to be very much April, May, and no time. So it's almost as if our appeal is not granted, and then we also get done with this extra one that came out today, we've got no time to kind of come back and save ourselves because it's right at the end of the season. It just almost looked as though we're going to wait a little bit. We're going to wait a little bit. We'll get it to that. We'll get it to the end of the season, and then bang, there you go. You're gone, and you've got no
That's
time.
why I say it generally. It doesn't. I know people will say, "Oh, you Everton fans would say that," but it just feels like a personal attack. It feels like they've got it against us now, and they are literally they're in war with Everton to get as much stuff as it feels personal. It really does feel personal. Like you say, the dates that they've done it, where if we want to appeal it, we haven't got much time to appeal it, so they'll just kind of kill it off. I think they're literally hoping they'll slam another point deduction on us at the end of the season. We'll get relegated and they'll hear nothing from us because we'll be in the Championship and they'll be happy and they'll feel like they've done their job. It's not going to happen though. Mess with the wrong fans, Everton fans, and I know a lot of our fans are down. I know they are, but at times like this, it's where your club need you. And the people running a club are shit. So we've got to be there as fans. Because when they say on the statement, we promise we will do everything we can. Who promises? Who's signing up for Everton now? Like, for me, our owner doesn't give a shite about Everton. I don't even know what Mashir is doing. I'd say seven partners probably think they own us more than us. I don't know who owns us. I don't know who's running us. I don't know who's on the board. Like they say, we know we've got a lawyer now. We know nothing. We don't know who's defending our club. We don't know who's running our club. Like we generally, they say that statement like we know that who's going to help us. Like if it was our fans down to our like when against Crystal Palace, our fans got the team over the line. Against Bournemouth, we got them over the line. Us fans will support Everton and die for Everton, Paul. These people running the club, you can't trust them, can you? You just don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. They shouldn't act like they love Everton because they frigging don't. Because if they did, we wouldn't be in this position. We've been run so bad. I honestly do wish, and we're coming to an end now, people, because we don't want to moan too much, because we are pretty positive about it. And me and Paul still believe, well, I think Paul does, we still believe we can stay up. I still believe we can stay up.
I do believe we can stay up. The reason that I'm probably more frustrated at this than I am at any game is we've got no control. The players have got no control. This is happening out of our hands. We can protest, and we should continue to do that. We should go back down to London. I know there's plenty of London toffees out there. Get down to the Premier League offices, protest there as well. Keep making our voices heard about how unjust, how unfair, and how corrupt this is. We've got to keep doing that and keep it in the news, even if some of the news outlets aren't showing it. But this is so frustrating because there's only so much we can do. And our club is in the hands of someone, and has been in the hands of people, by the way, over the last few years. And it's not been run properly at all. There's not been any thought in the long game at all. You can't just sit there, oh, we've got a 10-year plan, we've got this new manager, he's going to blah, blah. Absolute garbage. You got it. Financially, we've been incredibly naive and weak and unqualified, really, for the last 10 years.
Do you know where Mashir is still trying to get money for the club out of whoever gets it? Why don't we just make sure Mashiri don't get money? He's run our club so bad. Why don't we just make sure he gets nothing and then just like freeze our club off and just let someone come in and buy it and sort us out? Why is Mashiri still in a position where he still should get? He shouldn't get nothing. Everything Mashiri's lost at Everton, he shouldn't take a penny out of this club with how bad he has run the club. He's brought stupid players. He's left Kenwright on the board. Mashiri has just run the club. He's run the club like it's not his money, which it probably wasn't. He's run the club like that. And I just believe, as a businessman, your business should flop and you should end up with nothing if you've run the club as bad as Mashiri. So why don't he just, literally, why ain't we just an open thing where someone can buy us fresh ball and get rid of Mashiri, like freeze him out? Will he still get money for us?
He's not gonna go away empty-handed.
Why? We should make him. We should grass him up and say it wasn't his money and make him go away empty-handed and then restart. I wish when Uzunov went, they would have just found Mashiri guilty and just got rid of him, and literally just got rid of him. And Everton was an open club for a new owner to come in and buy, and it was a massive opportunity because you could literally just come in and didn't have to pay much money to get us. All you had to pay was the new stadium, and then a lot of the stuff was wiped because it was under Mashiri. That's what I wish. Is that a stupid thing to wish for?
No, it came from Kenwright's 20 years of looking for the perfect fit. You know, getting people who were this, that, and the other, who were going to look after the club, look after us, you know, as fans, and take us forward and everything else. And it seems, in hindsight, that Bill chose poorly, really.
He did lots of good
for Everton. I'm going to point out that I'm not slagging him off, really. I'm just saying that there were poor choices made over the last few decades, and he was part of that. And Mashiri is now left with the club, and Has anyone got any faith in him to do anything good for us? The
Just wants to
stadium is
run, doesn't he?
being
You don't
built.
care.
No, the stadium's being built, and it is going to be an amazing stadium. And I do think that we are going to be in it and playing Premier
Right.
League football. However, we're going to have
Oh.
to do it after a huge battle with this corrupt league that we're in at the moment. That's where we are.
We are Everton. And the thing is, we're the famous EFC. And the thing is, we haven't been there and dragged them over the line with the flares, with the flags, and stuck behind this Everton team these last two relegation battles just to give up. Now I know in my Toffee Bluecast group chat, a lot are down. I know. Oh, we're down. Oh, that's it. It's over. No, it isn't. It ain't over. And I tell you one thing, you feel hurt as a fan now, but us Everton fans never give up. We
No, we
never
won't.
do. Yes, it
No, we
hurts
won't
because
give
we
up.
love our club. And yes, we don't like our club being run bad. But I tell you something, you'll see people say now, you'll see the tweets, I can't be arsed with football anymore. Someone can have my season ticket. I give up. I hate it. I hate Everton. I hate football. But I can guarantee, give it a week, Everton will pull you back in and you'll be there for Everton. We will. We'll stick behind them. That's why I say I just want whatever deduction they're going to give us now. Give it me. Even if you're going to give me 20 and put us on 7 points and we're bottom of the league, we'll still stay up. We still fucking will stay up, I'm telling you, because we're good this season and we'll stay up. I really do believe it. We will stay up. Give us, if you're going to put us on 7 points and you want to give us 20, give us the worst thing you can give us. Give it us. Give it us now. Don't wait. Give it us now and we'll still stay up. We'll fight against it because we're fighters. Because us, these players, like I said on that tweet, they're fighting for us. Mikolenko cracking his head still plays. Tarkowski, those tackles when he's got a cut above his eye, fighting for us. Onana working his socks off. Garner gets stuck in. Harrison played well last game. These players will fight for us. Us fans will fight and will unite and will become a very strong force. So the Premier League, just do what you're going to do. Bring it on. And you'll look like the idiots when we overcome what you give us. Because what the Premier League give us, Paul, will be wrong, but we'll overcome it. And they'll look the idiots because they've done the best they can and the worst they can to affect us and make us go down. And we'll overcome it. I know for a fact, you Everton fans, if you listen to this, I know for a fact you won't back down. You won't wave the white flag. That's why we support Everton. No. We don't fucking give up. We don't.
No, we're feeling sore today. We're feeling sore today, but give us time. We're still on our feet. We'll come back and we'll all support each other.
We will. And that is the show coming to the end. I wanted to end it nice and because that's what I said, Paul. You asked me how I feel. And I'm just ready for whatever they're going to throw at us. I don't want it, but at the end of the day, I'm ready for it. And I feel our players will be as well. So we've got to stay positive. A lot are down now. I'm not getting knocked down by this. I'm straight back into this. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm sure Daesh will be. I'm sure the players will be. And we'll fight it. Hopefully, this solicitor's good or barrister or whatever he is. And he catches the Premier League out on a few things and a few points get taken off. But I just think to myself, right now in my head, 20-point deduction. Let's fight that. And if we beat that, we definitely beat it if it goes down to 12 points. So let's just fight what we've got. Don't moan about it, dwelling on it. Ain't going to do anything. Let's just switch on now and fight against it, I think. But it is wrong. And I'm disappointed. I hope. I mean, I know we've got rivalry against Newcastle, against Nottingham Forest, and against... Well, we ain't got rivalry against Forest, but Newcastle's, they don't like our fans. But I hope a lot of teams come together and hit the Premier League on this because you can't lick the big boy teams' arses like they're doing and make rules to suit them because they like what money they're getting for them and then attack teams that try to be better. I listened to something on one of the channels that was saying like the Premier League's not going to be the best league in the world if they keep doing what they're doing. You want the best players in the Premier League. And if they're not allowing us financial situation to actually bring in the best players, it's going to become such a shit league because none of the other leagues have got these rules, have they? We're going to slowly see all the players drift out the Premier League and go into other leagues. But no, they'll probably change the rules, Paul, to suit the big teams so they can get the big players back in after they've punished Everton and Nottingham Forest that are just trying to get Europa League, finish 6th. That's all we're trying to do. Trying to get a better stadium. but you want to hit us just for trying to build a new stadium. We've had the old lady for how long, Paul? We've had the old lady for how long, and we're not allowed to build a new stadium?
Late 1800s, late 1800s. Yeah.
Yeah. Get your sporting kit on. I'll have it on, don't worry. Passionate Everton fan, me, and you all are the same. I'm nothing. I know what all of you lot are like. We're all the same. I know what we're like. We support Everton. And yes, we do moan and stuff like that, but we don't give up. We don't give up. We'll be on it. We're Spartans. We all are. Everton. We love them. We won't back down. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the challenge, Paul. I know Paul is as well. He'll give one of his speeches like last time. We've been in worse situations. We won't be in a relegation battle this season. Paul, I'm not scared of no one this season. We just played Aston Villa second in the league. We could have beat them if Calvert-Lewin scored. Not even scared of Man City. I'm not scared of Tottenham. I'm not scared of Chelsea. I'm not scared of Man U. I'm not scared of... Give me any team in that Premier League right now. Newcastle, not scared of them. Not scared of any team in that Premier League. I'm ready. Bring it on. Bring it on. Looking forward to it. Got the cup game next game. I just realised, Paul, we've actually got a cup game as well. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I ain't got a Crystal Palace fan for that.
Anyone knows a Crystal Palace fan, get on to Dan.
Well, that means we'll probably be back on tomorrow night, doesn't it?
Might well be back on tomorrow, everybody. Yeah.
Let's have it. We're back, baby, tomorrow. And we're going to win the cup. And then we're going to smash the Premier League up. And we're going to win. Do you know where we won 4 in a row? And was like, yes, 4 in a row. We're going to win 10 in a row. There'll be like 10 green bottles sitting on the wall, and then Dwight McNeil accidentally scored, and then Dan Juma accidentally scored, and then it will go, oh, there was 7 points, and then it will go down again, then there was 4, and then we'll win again, then there was 1 point, and then we'll smash it up, 10 points gone, and we'll climb up the league. And Red Devil knows it as well. I mean, he said it was wrong last time getting a 10. And then we get another 10 Red Devils. It's not right, mate. I know he'll have a back. But all these people that have got a back, they need to stop being silent. Come out. Side up for Everton. Because it's wrong. You know it's wrong. Right. We'll end the stream now, everybody. Up the fucking toffees. We will be back tomorrow night. Because we're going to knock Crystal Palace out of the cup. And then we've got Luton or Bolton.
No, Luton or Bolton in the cup. Yeah.
Give me football, Paul. Just give me football. Let me focus on the football matches. I'm a football fan. I'm not frigging running a football club talking about all this court solicitor stuff. That's not me. I'm a football fan. Let us be supporters. Give us some football. Let us smash Crystal Palace. And then we'll smash everyone else up in the Premier League. I'll drop the banner now. You good, Paul? You was tonight, mate. You were good on that. So you knew a lot more than what I thought on that.
Gives me a headache, I tell you. It gives me.
I know. You do a lot of research. I thought you put a lot of good stuff on the channel there. Right, everybody. Here we go. Drop the
Thanks,
song.
everyone.
Watch our Everton fans. Do you know where I said we never give up?
Never give up.
On this. Watch the Everton fans.